Hey everybody, it's Chris Kelso with 5 biggest mistakes you can make during an interview. Number 1, come prepared. I can't tell you how many people show up to interviews or do interview phone calls or interview videos and then didn't do any research on Google about what questions they're going to be asked or what poise they should have or how they should enunciate or anything. I mean, just zero prep. That is the number one mistake you can do for interview purposes. If you're doing anything in life, you're probably, and you don't know how to do it, you're probably on Google or YouTube figuring out how to do it. So why would you just gamble your entire future, your entire career on showing up to something that you didn't prepare for? Do your research, look at Google, look at YouTube, watch stuff, go to my website, listen to my videos, read the information I've provided to people, and just get prepared for your interview. Number 2, make sure you didn't drink. I know it's crazy, but hear me out. A lot of people will have a glass of beer or a glass of wine or something like that, or do a shot before they go into an interview or before they do one over the phone because they think that alcohol makes them a little bit more loose, a little bit more relaxed, a little bit more in their comfort zone, and they can talk a little bit better when they've had maybe a drink or two, and they just think it's going to make that whole, oh, I'm comfortable now. I feel good. I can do this. I can talk about anything. I'm so much more sociable when I've had a drink or two. I'm just so shy and introverted when I'm not. Don't do it. You'll end up doing something stupid, and then you start slurring your words, okay? Or you'll answer things more honest than you should have ever done it because you've let your inhibitions go down because you've been drinking. Just don't do it. Just be sober, crisp, awake. Don't be tired. Don't be hungover. Okay, just take alcohol out of the question. All right. Number 3, when you answer questions about yourself, don't toot your horn like you're God's gift to the world. Okay, when you do an interview, the company wants to know that you're going to be an asset to them. It's not always about you. You're just lucky to get the interview. Okay? So stop talking so highly about yourself and start figuring out ways to answer questions that make the company feel better about hiring you. Something as simple as, why should we hire you? Is a very generic question that gets asked a lot. Instead of rattling off all of your accomplishments and how great you are in your job, start talking about how much of an asset you can be to that company. Well, what do you guys need? How can I help your company perform better? This is what I can do to be an asset to your company because I think this is where you could use me better. And I'm willing to do whatever your company needs to improve you and me. Okay? Take that question of me, and turn it into company. And that's going to go a lot farther than you talking about how great you are, because there's probably 20 other people behind you that are just as good as you are, but they're going to talk a little bit differently about themselves, and it's going to make the company realize that they have better assets elsewhere. Okay? Number 4, when you get a chance to talk about your weaknesses or areas that you need to work on or anything that is uncomfortable or isn't something that you really want to talk about, okay? Control the interview. If you give some half-assed answer, or you go, oh, I really don't know any weaknesses, or that's a hard question to answer, or, everybody likes me, so I don't know, no one's ever said anything bad about me, you're doing a disservice to yourself, okay? You need to be honest with that company. Take your weakness and turn it into a positive. This is a question that's asked a lot on interviews, and it surprises me how many people, back to step 1, don't prepare for this question. If you have something like, well, you know what, I show up to to work late a lot. That's the problem I have, is tardiness. And it's been a problem that I've recognized over the years. Instead of ending it right there, turn it into a positive. Talk about the fact that you've recognized it as a problem, and then talk about what steps you've gone to fix that problem and the goals and the process that you've laid out to make sure that it doesn't happen anymore. Example, yeah, sometimes I show up late to work, but what I've done is I've started setting a couple alarms on my phone. I also bought an alarm clock to make sure this doesn't happen, and I've started doing a little bit better time management at night so that I'm getting enough sleep so that I don't wake up tired and I end up being late. I've done X, Y, Z to make sure that this doesn't happen again. I knew it was a problem in the past, and I've been working on it. Right there, you've taken a weakness, you've showed that you've recognized that weakness, and then you've talked about the goals and the process that you laid out to fix that weakness. Okay, you take a poor subject and you turn it into a positive subject that shows commitment, that shows that you have not reacted to things that are problems. It shows that you're proactive with problems. Okay? Number 5. When you start talking about salary, desired salary, pay, anything along those lines, don't get frustrated. Don't get insulted. You're not negotiating your house. Okay? You don't want to do the shock value of, oh my God, I can't believe you just offered me that much money. Don't be that person, okay? If the offer is not where you want it to be, talk about ways that you and the company can work together to get you to a salary that you desire. Example, hi, I'd like to get $150,000 for this job. Okay, company. Well, I'm prepared to offer you $130,000. Poor answer. Well, that's just not going to work for me. I've got a family and I've got expenses and I just bought a new house and blah, 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 blah. I need more money. Don't do that, okay? Go, okay, $130,000, I understand. Well, based on my research on the position, most people are in that $140,000 to $150,000 range, and that's something that I aspire to be to. I feel I'm worth that much based on XYZ qualifications. But if for some reason you still feel the need to bring me in at 130, let's lay out a plan together over the next 6 months to a year where I can get to the 150, and I'm willing to do whatever the company needs to meet those goals, to meet those expectations that you have, so that I can get to my desired salary. I know your company needs me to do things, and I'm willing to help you all out so that I can get to where I need to be too. So it's a win-win for both people. So what do we have to do to get me to that 150 within that 6 months to 1 year plan? And if they are willing to talk about that plan with you, try to throw it into the offer letter as well. Hey, I really appreciate the fact that you were willing to talk to me about how I could get from the 130 to 150, and as long as I work my butt off and I do everything and I meet your expectations that we've laid out here, do you think you could put that in the offer letter that, hey, I'm prepared to come in at 130, but as long as I meet XYZ goals and the timeline that you've given me, then I will be getting to that 150 by this time frame. Okay? Don't just bitch and moan about something that you're not happy with getting. Okay? And I'll tell you right now, if you turn down an offer because of something salary-wise that's only this much difference, you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass the rest of the time, because guess what? There's no guarantee that you have an offer from anybody else. And if you do that's better than what they have, well then fine, go, take it. You got it. Okay? But don't turn down a good offer, especially if it's within your range, if you don't have something else on the side. Okay? You can always accept an offer and turn it down later if something else better comes up. Or you can always try to renegotiate at a later date. Or you can always do what I said. If it didn't work in the interview, you can always try to lay out that plan of where can I get, how can I get to this money and what do I have to do to get there. Okay? And those are my 5 top tips for interviews. I've got a whole bunch more that I can go over, but a lot of this stuff I do in my interview consultations through my company. So 5 things not to do during an interview. I hope you all enjoyed this interview. please press the like and share button down below and get this information out to other people, because I think it's really, really important, especially in this day and age where people are having a lot of self-entitlement, or expectations are set up here when really they should be down here. I think it's really good information to push out. So thank you, everybody. This is Chris Kelso with Unmanned Hiring Services. Cheers.